kid.
So you mean like last week?
Good girl, Charlie. Was there something you wanted to tell me?
Have you ever noticed an unusually ornate bowl sitting near my altar? Keep an eye out for it the next time you're there. You'll know it when you see it.
Autumn thinks otherwise. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia, with the Abbey, to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World, just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wundagore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the moon seal?
After the trials, the moon seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
This must be Shell's. The goddess disagrees. Oshter smiles upon me. There must not be anything here. This ward is not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool. Need something, dear?
Did Wanda ever make it to this place?
I suspect she did. But if she discovered something, she didn't tell me. Until we speak again.
Except there's no Spider-Man in it.
And there's no Wolverine either. This was made when we were both free agents.
Banner thinks he's so clever with this demonic barrier, but I promise you, I'm gonna have the last laugh.
This isn't about one-upmanship, Tony. Just let me focus, and I can get Hunter through the barrier.
What's the holdup?
Besides your incessant grumbling about Banner in my ear, I haven't yet found a way to properly shield the Hunter to pass through the barrier.
Yeah, sure. While you're working on your magic fairy dust, I'll figure out how we get the parchment back here. It's too dangerous to be left out there in the wild.
It's not fairy dust. That's all wrong for this job. And if this sanctum was still around, that would have been the perfect place to store the parchment.
Well, it's gone, and Banner's still out there taunting me. So let's hurry up and get some answers. While you were on your little fetch quest, I made some breakthroughs on the Gamma front. Hunter, do you have a spare Gamma accelerator? I'm serious, what kind of ancient hero are you if you don't have the latest experimental Gamma technology in your back pocket?
Of course, but I put them in my Gamma pants. Sorry.
You have Gamma pants? Jealous!
Do you not have other things to be focusing on right now?
Well, no, actually. Among other things, I'm trying to figure out how to breach that nasty barrier of go away that Banner managed to throw up around the Hydra lab. Strange swears up and down that he'll be able to pierce the veil. If he can deliver, great. Otherwise, he should get out of the way, you know?
The rivalry between you and Strange is somewhat amusing, but the time for amusements is running out. You need to find a way to work together.
Are you kidding me? I love the Doc. Yeah, he's a little stiff, but we're like brothers. I even let him use my beard trimmers.
You still feel confident in your plan to destroy the parchment with the accelerator?
Well, I've been going over my father's files. He had big plans for this thing. Let's just say I don't think anything would withstand being on the wrong end of it at the wrong time.
You believe your father had ill intent for this device?
He had ill intent for everything. But this, in particular. I think he was trying to find a way to unlock the scientific essence of magic itself. So in a way, it's kind of poetic. I'm gonna use Dad's shady tech to stop Banner's shady treachery.
Forget about revenge, Tony. Think about the ways that technology could be used for good. I cannot allow my own vengeance to consume me.
Well, I see your point. I don't want to wallow in the muck, stay above it, etc., etc. Look, I'm not getting anything done. I'll tell you what, let's find this gamma accelerator, bring Banner back from the dark side, stop your mom, and then we can sit down and have a nice chat. I've got this awesome new juicer back at my place. We can do it there.
Juicer?
Oh, you'll love it. It would juice your shoes if you let it. In the meantime, back to work.
We're so close to having the parchment.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I have found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. I typically avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. I have a few theories on who sent those soulless after us in Blaze. There's an unsettling air about this place.
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shaw. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil together.
There was more to it than that.
Yes, I suspected as much. It makes Tony nervous, you see. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
I thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently.
Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda spent a great deal of time out here, and she had the power.
She does have some experience with these spells, but why would she do that?
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
I'm so happy Robbie got to work alongside one of his idols.
Encounter with Johnny Blaze?
Trust me. Are you just gonna stand?
You wanted to see me?
You won't believe this, but we did it.
Did what?
Remember that first account of Lilin corruption I found in the Book of Thoth?
You mean the story of the ancient pharaoh who was struck down with corruption and the traveling light worker who purified him?
That's the one.
Of course, I remember.
Well, Magic and I finally transcribed the incantation the Lightworker used. And I'm pretty sure we can use it to finally remove your psycho mom's corruption over Wanda.
I have to say, I am impressed.
You mean that?
Yes, I do.
Thanks, Hunter. That means a lot coming from you. But before you heap on the praise, there's something I should tell you. Full disclosure, the reason the Lightworker died was because he had to take on all that dark energy into his body, and he just couldn't handle it. I tried finding a workaround, but all the texts on Chaos Magic said the same thing. Corruption can't be destroyed. It has to go somewhere or to, like, somebody. So whoever removes it from Wanda will also have to absorb it.
I will absorb it.
You will? You're not, like, scared you're gonna, like, fall to her darkness?
Lilith's darkness cannot corrupt me.
Right, because you are just so good and pure that you could never ever fall.
Correct.
Well, at least you're on board.
When is this happening?
As soon as we break back into Banner's lab. Oh, and just one more thing, so listen up because it's kinda crucial. I'm gonna need you to memorize the incantation and recite it verbatim when you see Wanda in his lab. It's the only way to subdue her. It goes... Ego sum tenebris et venunt in domum suam iubet dominus. Ego sum tenebris domum domini praecepta ior. Think you can remember that, Hunter?
It looks like I have quite a bit of preparation ahead of me.
That's why you're my favorite demon. You need to memorize those lines as if your own life depends on it. Because it just might. Remember to study your lines, Hunter, because you do not want to screw this up.
I just hope Caretaker doesn't stop us.
No one can stop us. I just need to get Hunter on board.
I remember the first time I worked with the Avengers. Hydra tried to kill us. Black Widow nicknamed me Kid. Thor called me... who? I still don't think he knows who I am. Oh, and we almost died horrible deaths, but we didn't, and we saved the world. It was magical.
Johnny Blaze always shows me a good time. At least we know it's with Johnny Blaze.
Yes, dear?
I have heard that Wanda's power comes from Chthon.
The way I understand it, as a child, Wanda and her family lived in Transia, not far from Mount Wundagore. Within that mountain, the dark god Chthon had long been imprisoned, his corruptive influence an ongoing threat to the people of Transia.
And Wanda was affected?
Whether Chthon reached out to Wanda, Or he found her by chance, I can't say. But Wanda was blessed or cursed by Chthon, touched by the power of chaos magic. While he had hoped to make her some sort of acolyte, she proved to be more capable than even he foresaw. Goodbye, for now.
Hunter, I've got a theory. Wanna hear it? My theory is that it's underappreciated work to be an awesome badass loner. I mean, did you see what happened when Blaze read the parchment aloud? That was an act of mad genius.
He definitely destroyed a lot of Soulless. I can give him that.
Oh my god, really? The man unleashes the apocalypse on the forces of evil, and the most you can give him is an attaboy. Tough crowd.
After all that, we still do not have the parchment. Without it, we cannot destroy it.
Here's the thing. He's got no one to rely on. It's just him out there, facing this stuff all alone. He's not gonna give us something like the parchment easily. I think we all need to cut him some slack.
I am not sure how much I agree with you, but I am willing to give him another chance. In all honesty, we have no other choice.
I mean, maybe if we show him a little respect, he'll show you a little respect.
And if he does not?
You gotta trust me on this. Seeing Blaze in action really solidified some things for me, Hunter.
And what is that?
I still got a long way to go if I ever want to make my mark as a spirit of vengeance.
Then you have work to do.
Yeah, I do. It's just hard to gain that kind of confidence when I'm always left on the sidelines. Anyways, I had to tune up the ride. She really took a beating out in the desert.